Alright, well, I ordered this Dobeck Industries seclusion fuel injection unit used on eBay, and it has gray wire and a blue wire for the fuel injectors, the two of them. Also it has a red wire and a black wire for positive and negative or ground. So I'm going to hook this up. It's got the adjustments underneath this rubber plug and see what it does. Okay, well, I've already removed the saddlebag from this side of the bike, opened up the fuel injection module area, took this cover off, put it out of the way. Got the fuel injection wiring harness here, and I've already pulled out what looks to be the positive wire and the two grounds that go to the fuel injectors. And this is a 1997 Harley Davidson Road King fuel injected with the Magneti Marelli fuel injection system. It's an open loop system, which means it does not have the O2 sensors in the exhaust. If it had the O2 sensors, that'd be a closed loop, and from what I've seen online, Dobeck sends some dummy plugs to plug into the end of the O2 sensor harness wires to forego any check engine lights or codes like that on the engine. So these are the two fuel injector wires. I looked underneath the gas tank, and these are the colors that are coming out of the fuel injectors. We have green with a gray stripe and what looks to be white with a yellow stripe. These two wires. So I'm going to take a little bit of each, the plastic off each one, and solder the fuel injection unit into these wires, and then feed it my positive and negative, and should be good to go. So we'll pull a little bit of the wire out here, enough to get to it, and just shave off some of the outer plastic, being careful not to cut the wire itself. Okay, I've got this green one exposed enough. I'm going to leave the plastic attached on the back side of it, give it a little strength. Don't need to cut it, so just leave it there. But there's one area that we can solder to. Now let's do the other wire to the other injector. Okay, well, now I've got both of my wires exposed. Did clip a little bit of a wire here, so we'll be careful when we solder that to make sure there aren't any frays that still exist. But now I'm ready to solder in the Dobeck fuel injection module. Yeah, I've got the wires intertwined with the injector wires. I don't think the colors matter, so I put blue with the green and gray stripe as a darker color. Now I'm soldering the intertwined gray wire with the fuel injector wire that is white with a yellow stripe. Okay, when taping these up, I'm using a regular vinyl Scotch electrical tape. I stretch the tape before I put it on. So give it a good stretch, and now start wrapping it around the wires. And what will happen is the vinyl will try to shrink back up on itself, creating a really tight seal. So we're going to wrap these wires good. Alright, well, this might not go into the Hall of Fame for installing a used seclusion fuel injection module system from Dobeck Industries on Dobeck's website or anything like that. But everything is all hooked up, all soldered together, no crimp connections, things like that. And I'll zip tie the wires up, tuck this away in here, out of the way when I'm done. I've got the power connected to the auxiliary power that runs this cigarette lighter, and there's a switch on the dash besides the highway lights for me to turn that on and off. So if this seems like it's acting up or has a problem, I can switch it off on the fly as I'm going down the road, or just pull over on the side of the road. So it has power. It's time to remove the rubber plug and see what happens as far as starting the bike and adjusting the screws inside. Okay, so here are the settings that I came to by doing that adjustment and dropping the fourth adjustment to the point where the red light would come on. I adjusted the mix on the red light, and that's where that came to on the third adjuster. So we got first one, looks to be at about 2. Second one is at 3. And the third one is just about 3, between 2 and 3. And then I'll readjust the fourth adjustment for the 4 o'clock position so it kicks in around 4,000 RPM. And we'll give that a go and see what happens. Okay, another thing to keep in mind on these Magneti Marelli fuel injection systems, and maybe even the Delphi that's being used now, is to kind of reset the computer system by removing the fuses. This Magneti Marelli system, we've got the fuses underneath this cover, but the cover doesn't lift up. It actually, the whole unit pulls down out of the cover, revealing the 2 fuses for the fuel injection system. All we have to do now is remove both for a few seconds, and that'll clear any background issues, and put them back in. 15 amp over here, 5 amp here in the middle, and then pop it right back into the cap that it goes inside with the rubber boot and weatherize it. And there we go, it's clipped back in there. Now I'll make my final adjustment on the fourth adjustment here to 4 o'clock position and put it back together.